For 2 years, I had my router right here fitted in my workbench. It's convenient, always to hand, and completely wrong. Moving it fixed something I didn't even realise was broken. So if your workshop feels like it's fighting against you, your router might be the problem. The router plate was sitting right in the middle of the bench. Always there when I needed it, never in the way, or so I thought. The problem is a router table takes up space whether you're using it or not. And this is the only decent flat surface I have. So every time I needed to lay something down, a carcass, door panel, anything of any size, I was shuffling around it and making do. You stop noticing after a while. And then Banggood sent me this fence to test. And I was standing there looking at the bench trying to figure out where to set it up properly. And that's when I saw it. The sander sitting in its own dedicated cart. Just sitting there. Used it maybe once a week, and the router I used almost every day, crammed into the bench with no room around it. That was it. That was the moment. So this is where we're starting. The cupboard needed to move over first to give me enough room, which meant I needed to find a new home for the wood in this corner. And then the sander and the scroll saw needed a new home too. I decided the simplest solution for the sander and the scroll saw was a couple of shelves on the wall. Nothing complicated, just enough to get them up and accessible. Which meant first moving the small wall unit that was already there and then finding a home for everything that was in that. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't quite sorted that bit out yet, but that's a problem for another day. Once the shelves were up and everything was on them, I could move the cupboard across and suddenly there was a proper space opening up. Not huge, but big enough for what I had in mind. That's where the router table was going to live. Now I just had to build it. The frame is straightforward, 4 legs with halving joints where the cross members meet them. A halving joint is just what it sounds like. You remove half the thickness of each piece so that they sit into each other and lock together. This adds a lot of strength to the frame for very little extra effort. I cut these on the miter saw and cleaned up the faces with a chisel, but you could just as easily do them on a table saw or even a hand saw if that floats your boat. There's nothing critical about the fit here, it just needs to be snug enough that the joint doesn't rock. I'm using pocket holes to assemble the frame here. These are perfectly adequate for a job like this. Once the frame was together, I fitted a plywood sheet and 4 locking casters to the bottom. The whole point of this bench is that it can be easily pulled out of the parking bay if I need more room. So casters were never optional. With those on it, it started to look like a functional piece. And you can use this method for all sorts of mobile carts around a workshop or even your home. For the top, I used a piece of melamine face board, backed with a sheet of 18mm ply. The melamine gives you a smooth surface that workpieces slide across easily, and the ply behind it gives you the thickness and strength you need. Together they make a top that's flat, stable, and tough enough for workshop use. This is the part that looks more complicated than it is. The router plate needs to sit flush with the surface of the top. If it's not flush, every piece of timber you run across it will catch on the edge, so the hole needs to be accurate. And the method I use makes that straightforward. I start by marking out the exact size of the plate on the top. I make a simple guide from a few pieces of scrap, just offcuts arranged so that the router runs against them and the cutter follows the marked line exactly. I stick it down with double tape, no clamping and no need for screws into the top. Then at each corner I drill out a hole using a Forstner bit, the same radius as the corners of the plate. That gives you a clean curved corner that the plate will fit into. Once the corners are done, I use the jigsaw to rough out the rest of the opening, staying well inside the line. This doesn't need to be neat, it just needs to remove the bulk of the waste so the router has less work to do. Now I run the router around the opening to trim it to the line. It takes a couple of passes because of the depth of cut, but you end up with a clean, accurate hole. Before the plate goes in, I fit the 4 corner pieces that mount underneath it. They give a flat surface so that the grub screws in the plate can adjust the height until it sits perfectly flush with the surface, and then lock it in place. It's quick, reliable and efficient. Before the top goes onto the base, I also routed the channels for the T-track that comes with the fence. I find it much easier to do this now with the top clamped down rather than trying to do it once everything is assembled. With those in place, I fixed the top down onto the base and connected up the wiring for the router. Then the plate dropped straight in and I took a few minutes to level it using the grub screws. Just running a straight edge across the surface and adjusting until there's no step between the plate and the top. It doesn't take long and it's worth doing properly. Then it's locked into place with the larger machine screws and that was it. The bench was done. At this point, it's just a box frame on wheels with a router in it, but that's all it needs to be for now. And then the first cut, and I'll be honest, after 2 years of working around that router in the bench, there was something almost satisfying about how unremarkable it was. No shuffling things out of the way, no making do. Just run the piece through, get the result. That's how it's supposed to feel. Now the fence. This is the Banggood fence that started all of this. And I have to say, it's earned its place. The adjustment is smooth and it makes millimetre precision very easy. The stops are solid and it comes with a T-track that I've already fitted into the top. The split fence is a great addition too. Overall, it's a massive upgrade on what I had before. If you're on the market for a router fence, have a look at it. There's a link in the description. And that's what this whole reorganisation was actually for. A proper setup that's worth using properly. Clean, smooth, no drama. That's what a router table should feel like. And the router table isn't finished yet. I've got several plans for upgrades already and more will come as I use it, but that's all for a future video. The router has its own table, the workbench has its top back, and the sander and scroll saw are on the wall where they should have been all along. And none of it was that complicated, it just needed doing. And I've realised how easy it is to stop questioning something after a while. You get so used to how it is that you can't visualise how things could be, which applies just as much when you're building for someone else. In this video, I'll show you how to show a client exactly what they're getting before you cut a single board, so there are no surprises for either of you when it's done. I'll see you soon.